Welcome back. Now you'll know Herb Alpert as a legendary trumpeter and singer with a wonderful back catalogue of hits under his belt, such as This Guy's in Love with You, Spanish Flea and The Taste of Honey.
What some of you may not know is that he was also the co-founder and driving force behind one of the most successful record labels of all time. With his partner Jerry Moss, Herb set up A&M Records, the A standing for Alpert and the M for Moss.
Between the early 70s and 1990, they signed some of the biggest names in the music business, including Burt Bacharach, The Carpenters, Janet Jackson, The Police, Supertramp, Bryan Adams and R.E.M.
What a list. So how do you combine being an extremely successful businessman and a very gifted trumpeter? We'll find out in a moment as Herb Alpert is here. First, find out why, though, he first took up the trumpet.
I liked the sound of it, and I was very, very shy when I was 5, 6, 7 years old. And the horn just made it like a loud sound, and I liked it. You know, it kind of like spoke for me.
Herb is very shy. He's always been that way, but once in a while he'd play, but he would mostly just practice the scales, and he studied, and he was very dedicated to the trumpet.
As a kid, I studied with this Russian trumpet player. Like every week I would take a lesson, and I'd usually try to get out of some of the lessons claiming I had chapped lips or whatever. I was dodging it a bit. And I was playing this one etude for him. And when I finished, I looked over, and he was crying. He had tears coming down his face, and he looked at me, says, with a little bit of an accent, he says, that was beautiful. And that was the first time I realized that, gee, I could touch somebody.
And Herb is here with us right now, and the trumpet is in your hotel room, but that's something you practice pretty much every day, isn't it?
I do. You have to, if you want to be good.
Because it's a particular kind of instrument, isn't it, that you need to have?
Well, that's the way you get to Carnegie Hall.
Right, fair enough.
And the love affair with the trumpet, was it an immediate thing?
No, it wasn't immediate, because I didn't know how to play it. I mean, I thought you just blow air into the trumpet and it's going to work, but it didn't. It took a while to make some sounds that made sense. And like it said, you know, I was very shy, and this trumpet made a lot of noise, and so it was kind of speaking for me, so I like that.
And it wasn't just that. I mean, you started, you know, writing stuff for it, didn't you? And really taking the trumpet to perhaps places that it had not been before.
I was trying to. I mean, for a long time, I was trying to play like Louis Armstrong and Miles Davis and all my favorites. And then I realized I'm not going to get any place with a carbon copy. So I was looking for my own style. And when I heard Les Paul, he was multi-tracking his guitar. And I tried that at my little studio at home. I had 2 tape machines. And I'd play the trumpet on one machine, switch to the other machine, play on top of myself. And all of a sudden I came up with this sound that was, you know, the genesis of the Tijuana Brass.
Yeah.
It sounds so simple now. I mean, compared with, I don't know, modern techniques in the way recording studios and everything's done, 2 tape machines and a trumpet, and you have something kind of revolutionized.
Well, I mean, it took work. It took a lot of years to be able to get to that place where I could do that. But it was...
So the Tijuana Brass was actually just you at the beginning, wasn't it? But then you had to go and find and make a band.
Well, it was... You know, I played all the trumpets on all the Tijuana Brass records.
Which wasn't really going to work in a stadium, I guess.
Well, I hired another trumpet player to work with me, but there was no Tijuana Brass until after the Whipped Cream and Other Delights album.
Okay, and that was a very iconic image, actually, of that lady on that album as well, wasn't it?
You're the first lady that said that.
Hi.
Usually I hear that from the guys. And then
You can explain it.
Well,
that's what it looked like.
People come up to me and say, you know, that Whipped Cream and Other Delights, I love that cover. I said, did you ever hear the album? You know,
exactly.
A lot of times,
it's a lady,
no.
Yes, and she's not wearing much apart from whipped cream. Anyway.
Okay, I get the idea. Now, this image behind you here, this devastatingly handsome young gentleman there.
I would love to meet him. Where is he?
When was that? What was happening there? You were in a recording studio.
When I recorded This Guy's in Love with You, that's Burt Bacharach, obviously, with me. And I was doing this television special in the States, and the director asked me to sing a song. And I said, well, if I can find the right song, I would give it a go. Burt happens to be a friend of mine. I called Burt. I said, is there a song that you have in the, you know, that you think maybe didn't get the right recording, or you find yourself whistling in the morning in the shower, blah, blah, blah? He gave me this song. It was called This Girl's in Love with You. I played it. It was, you know, a demo, and I liked the melody. It felt like, you know, I could handle it. So I called Hal David, who changed the gender. We did it on the show. Bert did the arrangements, and that's in the studio. That's in the studio Gold Star in Los Angeles, the studio where it was recorded. After we got the track, I wanted to see if my voice could work on the track. So I went into the studio, put earphones on. They played the track, and I quickly, sang the melody over it to see if it was going to work. I go into the control room, and there were some singers there, Bert and the engineer and some other musicians, and they said, "Don't touch a thing." I said, "Don't touch what?" They said it was perfect. Perfect. It was a demo. Give me a chance. He said, "No, don't touch it. It's just right."
Okay, so that was a demo, and that's how it went ahead. Let's have a little listen to it.
Oh, okay. So a couple days later, he sent me this demo of this record. I liked the melody a lot. Here again, yes, it's melody for me.
You see, this guy's in love with you. Yes, I'm in love. Who looks at you the way I do?
Just watching
When I
them, there must be
recorded the
so
song
many
with Bert, I
people.
just did
Have you
a
met
demo
people over the years
version,
who
singing it just
said
to see
that
if
was
my
our
voice
song?
would work on the
That
track.
I
Yeah.
play that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's one of those pieces of music.
I'll tell you what's really interesting about music. When there's a song that you really like, it's like instant deja vu. You hear that song.
And you
When I hear that song, even for me at this time, it takes me back to the studio when I recorded it, and I'm telling you the story of how it was recorded, but I'm there. I remember a song that I heard when I was in high school. It was called You Belong to Me by Patti Page. And I was in this place, Lake Arrowhead, California, and there was a speaker up on the tree, and every time I hear this song, like I'm transported back to that moment. And I think a lot of people have that feeling. Yeah.
You've had a truly amazing career, so you're hugely successful as a trumpeter, also as a singer, and as well then you went on to, with A&M Records to produce some incredibly famous people now. How did you spot them? People like the Carpenters and Police, how did you see that they were perhaps different?
Well, I spotted a lot of them with my eyes closed. I learned that from Sam Cooke. I worked with Sam Cooke prior to A&M, and Sam was a soul singer, and he said, "Herbie, they're just listening to a cold piece of wax. Close your eyes, listen to it, and see if you feel it." And he was auditioning an artist one day for his label. It was a beautiful guy from the Caribbean, tall, handsome, came in with a box, had a guitar, started playing, and Sam was listening to him, and he asked me what I thought. I said, "I think the guy's really good." He says, "What do you think?" He says, "Do me a favor, turn your back on him for 5 minutes and listen to him." So I turned my back and I'm listening. He wasn't sending anything. So, at that moment, I really realized
You have to
it's a
close your
feel.
eyes.
I know you heard a bit of the music from the guys who were here earlier on. The talent show thing, does that do anything for you? Do you ever watch something like The X Factor or in America?
Nah, sometimes I watch the finals, but not everything leading up to it. Sometimes it's a little bit like professional wrestling to me. I don't get it.
Do you think they're any good?
Some are.
No,
Yeah.
these guys who are here.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I like that, what I just heard this morning.
And just talk to us about some of those people. Police, for example, they specifically went to you because they knew that you would be in the studio and produce them. You were very intimately
Well,
involved.
I didn't produce the Police. They kind of produced themselves. Sting's a really amazing talent, and the three guys made music that was incredible together. No, Sting always said, and he says it on the special, which is airing tonight, by the way, at 9 o'clock, Channel 4, BBC.
Yeah.
Sting says, "Well, I wanted to go with A&M because there's two people there. There's Alpert and there's Moss. Yeah, if you record for CBS, there's no C and there's no B and there's no S."
Well, it's lovely to meet Mr. A. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Lovely to
So
see you. Just to let you know, a few things. Herb Alpert's new album, The Essential Herb Alpert, is out now, and you can see that documentary about him. It's called Legends Herb Alpert, Tijuana Brass and Other Delights at 9:30 Z on BBC 4 tonight.
And that's it from us today.
Yes, the Jonas Brothers are going to be here tomorrow. We'll see you at 6. We'll have a report on them. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.